Qualifiers, I'm been shown by Dust. And we are going to have map 2 coming up very shortly once the players have got themselves ready here on Cobblestone. Of course, G2's choice of map after winning Pride's, I think it was 16-12 in the end, Dust, but it could have been a whole lot more one-sided. Pride pulled off somewhat of a comeback, but it was gradually just swept away from G2. We'll be pretty disappointed, I would say, honestly, at how they finished that map. It was looking great to start with, not so much at the end.
Yeah, they really did let Pride kind of creep back into that. It was a couple of choice, like force buys that didn't really go their way, that certainly allowed Pride to gain a lot of ground, and just a couple little mishaps here and there. And indeed, they did have to kind of sweat that one a little bit towards the end, but they got the job done nonetheless, and that's what matters most. And now they're on Cobblestone, which is probably their best map next to Nuke. And they're probably one of the best Cobblestone teams in the world, based on what we've seen them do offline on this map. So you have to imagine that this is where they should go ahead and just kind of take care of business and move on to the semifinals tomorrow.
Yes, and on this side of the bracket, I believe Envious are also here. I can't remember who they're playing against in the first game.
Hellraisers.
Hellraisers, right, who obviously have had some
which is a mess.
Significant roster changes. Or yes. A mess, as you highlighted.
Yeah, I think Richard Lewis kind of summed it up quite nicely on Not By The Numbers yesterday. It's a rather precarious scenario over there. You have to imagine with Angel almost on his way out, and now, nope, you're stuck here, and you have obscure names now on the team with you. So, should be a little bit rough there, but what's not rough is Pride absolutely bodying G2 in this round, as they've gotten kills all across the map, and it's left Shocks and Body very lonely here with the bomb over on the A side.
I mean, Love straight up busting their cheeks there. It was pretty nuts. Those double tap headshots. And now he's going to be up close and personal on Stables, maybe able to get himself another one. Body able to somehow survive and get a kill with the Glock. And considering that Reitz is low on 5, this actually is doable for G2. That being said, Morales can hear them scampering away.
Yeah, he is in a very good position, isn't he? Ouch.
Or not.
You hate to see it.
Rest in peace. Well then. This round is now actually, I'd say, in favor of G2. So much time left. Low health on Reitz. I mean, Luz is going to be pulling his hair out right now after those ridiculous 2 1-taps at the start of the round. To suddenly be in this kind of a situation is going to be so frustrating.
Yeah. Still a lot of time left here, actually, for G2, though. It is ticking down to the last 30 seconds, and they are forcing Pride to kind of bunch up together and just kind of give up the A-bomb site. You have Reitz playing inside Chicken Coop, you know, with low HP, just trying to do the best that he can and given the amount of health he has to work with. But it means that A will be giving up, and Exodus, he may not even get to see them cross. I'm not really sure if he has an angle for that. Now he does, but gets one-tapped, of course, by Body. And so the bomb will make its way into the A-bomb site. It will get planted, and Reitz with no kit and 5 HP. He's gonna be having a hard time here.
May even get banged through the door as well if he's not careful. But yeah, this round is just looking like it's all G2's now. It's theirs to lose. After Pride were in such good shape just a bit earlier. Reitz did spot the head of Body. He was looking for information. The bomb's not actually planted for G2, so they're going to have to rush out. They don't know he doesn't have a kit. They've got to err on the side of caution. Reitz has picked up one. He's not going to be able to get the second. Nice try. But G2 have done it.
Yeah, that was good how they staggered, actually, in the 2-on-1. I mean, and normally you like to just bunch up, you know, 2-on-1 and trade, but in that situation, it's actually good to stagger just to make sure you pull the guy off the bomb, and then the other can play for time. So they will go ahead and get the 1-0 there, in a round that really should have been Pride's the way it started. I mean, they were off to a hot start. I think they had a 4-on-2, if I'm not mistaken, after the initial exchanges.
I think maybe a 2v5 Dust, actually. Yeah, it was really stacked against them.
So, yeah, that makes it even a little bit worse, doesn't it? As now G2 will have the rifles out on 4 of their players. Mac 10 on Apex. Pistols and armor here on Pride. They're trying to do some dueling over here at B, but it's only to be met with death as G2 get the opening 2 frags. So a quick 5-on-3 for the French as they do look to take into drop-down room.
Luz is going to get himself a kill, but it's just on the Mac 10. Of course, that's why Apex is playing so aggressively. It's the expendable weapon. The one that doesn't give that much power to Pride. But what they may end up doing, if this site does get pushed and you're expecting Reitz to fall down, without too much conflict. They may just try and save what they have here and come back in the next round. We'll have to wait and see. No, they're actually going to be flanking around the back, so Pride, they're hungry to try and turn this one back in their favour. Reitz is wasting as much time as he can. They're just making sure that every single corner has been locked off before they go for the plant. Down it goes. Now Pride have a decision to make. Do they want to go for this or do they want to save? It's going to be the save option. Right. They're just teasing us at a potential retake.
It's one of those things where, you know, it's normal to force buy in second round, you lose the first. But you know you have no chance of retaking here now. So it's best just to make sure you can pose a threat in the next round. I mean, in the next round, you're going to get to, you know, carry over three armors, 2 pistols, and actually a MAC-10 that was collected. You have the kit as well. So they can definitely do a little bit of something in the next round. We do see G2 going for the hunt, however, and they could clear one of these players out. It is one of the CZs and armor out of the equation for the next round. Thanks to that. Looks like the other 2 are pretty safely tucked away, so they shouldn't be bothered. They will be able to carry over what they've gotten. G2 off to the 2-0 start. Again, they already won the first map. It was kind of a close one. Particularly at the end of that second half, it did kind of come down to the wire, but G2 did come out on top. As they are certainly one of the favorites to go ahead and make it over to ESL One New York, you'd imagine. Oh, yeah. And certainly on the other side of the bracket, you do have NIP that you have to think about. Even Big, with their major performance, you can't count them out. They're actually playing NIP. It's probably the best match we'll have today, I imagine.
I agree with that. Yeah, I think that's definitely a fair statement. But yeah, G2 will be right up there as one of the favourites for sure. I think Pride, probably the least likely team in many people's eyes to actually get through to the end. Probably the weaker of the teams here. But they have got the first kill, at least in round 3. And it's going to be in the hands of Morels, who now has another MAC-10 to his name. And again, it's Apex that dies first. But even though they've got the 2 MAC-10s, there's not a great deal else that they have in their back pocket. I actually like that when he goes in first, scouting mission, even though he dies, it allows Luz to at least get a kill in retaliation, but this is where G2 should sweep out on the site and claim some kills for themselves. Nexus could bide his time and maybe just camp around the side here.
This could be the checkmate. Sometimes that spot just go unchecked. But if they push APC, then they'll see it for sure, so it just kind of depends on the positioning.
Yeah, it sure does, because if Reitz can bait them out for long enough, then it could allow Exus to actually get a kill onto the site. And I like that he's going into this position. He's almost forcing the hand for them to go on the site. Now, will they expect the second player to be here? Kenny's checking all his angles and does get the kill into Exus, but you could foresee a way in which Pride win that round. Yep. That wasn't as clear-cut as G2 were hoping for.
It just comes down to Kenny S being vigilant and just making sure that he leaves no stone unturned. Just checking that back corner is what allows G2 to cash in the round, as they will go ahead and move into their first full buy. We do see Pride chiming as well. No AWPs for either side. G2 is kind of a weird team on T-side Cobblestone because with their lineup, they have a history of a bunch of good drop-down room players. Like Shox and Apex are probably some of the best drop-down room players. And so you have to kind of wonder who's always going to kind of take initiative. But it's actually funny that MBK is our normal drop-down room player on this team. So Apex, though, is just so good at entering all across the map. So they're going to move Apex around a lot, depending on what site they want to hit. Then, obviously, Kenny S is going to be all over the place with the AWP. As we do see Body actually landing the first blow here. Morel's out of the equation on the B platform.
And he's just waiting at the back. He's going to be coming through. Luz nearly with 2 kills, dropping Kenny down to 6. Not far off on those endeavors, but still Pride will trail by a player. And now G2 are looking to try and rotate themselves, but Kenny is plucked out. So Maniz decides to go for the aggression. Unbeknownst to him, though, Shox has managed to sneak his way through mid. I don't think there's any way Maniz expecting this. You could see him running with his knife out at the end, and Shox will capitalize. And now the re-rotation comes into effect. G2 going back onto the A side as they know that Shox can be the pivot in which they pull on.
Yeah, they're going to smoke the door, and that means Shox only needs to really focus on balcony for that bomb to safely make its way into the A-bomb site. So this is looking really good for G2 to take.
20 seconds, but the bomb now is on the site, just about to get planted. Pride, 2 M4s, only 1 flash, which has just been used, and no kits. This is looking ominous at best. maybe should pull back. This round should be foregone conclusion. What the hell is going on?
It's like MBK was mad that it took them so many shots to kill the one guy coming out. Then he starts shaking his head no, and it's a free kill from Pride. That was good. Thank you for that. I needed that at 6 in the morning. Helps me stay on my toes to see funny stuff like that.
Well, Pride certainly won't be laughing because they lost their map and now they're 4-0 down on CT side of Cobblestone. Go for the aggression through mid. Maniz gonna be put down. Ooh, okay, Morels. Morels for me was one of the standouts on that first map as well with the AWP. He was exceptionally good, so I'll be interested to see if he can get anything done once he has that back in his hands.
Yeah. Dude, come down to a 4-on-4 here. Focus on B for Pride. They're stacked here. The one player in connector is going to be Reitz. As Apex has been to the drop-down room with the MAC-10 again, a position that he's so well known for playing. Doesn't do it as often on G2, but he'll be there now. It's going to be met up with MBK as well, the normal drop-down room player. Looks like they want to try to split this A bomb site. May try to take some entry into B, though, see if they can't relieve a little bit of pressure.
A 3-player stack on B at the moment, with just Reitz who's watching the doors. He's about to see action though. G2 all coming up through mid. Oh, Apex able to capitalize with the headshot, and that's probably going to keep Pride at bay. They may think that the B hit is imminent, and in the meanwhile, G2 are wrapping themselves onto the A site. Reach for the CZ, so potent at this kind of a range, and he's going to take down Apex. But again, it's MAC-10. Nothing too bad for the G2 perspective. This round surely is done now.
Yeah, you can't expect too much from this with no kits, no utility, and you're down a man. They do pick up the MAC-10 on Luz, and they can maybe put that to use into the next round. Of course, they are going to hit max loss bonus as well, so they would have money to do a full buy, but maybe Luz will decide to hold on to the MAC-10 regardless. An AK found by Axis, so not too shabby. At least on the save, they're able to do a little bit of recycling. But no surprise to anyone, G2 off to a hot start on Cobblestone.
There's not really too much to get hype about right now. I mean, the first map was kind of a shutout. It didn't look as much of a one-sided affair as it actually was due to Pride coming back, and this map has been really nothing to talk about from Pride's perspective. They're finally going to have some AWPs though. And this is where they shone on the CT side of Train when they had AWPs in their hands. So maybe this is where they turn things around. I would say though, Train is much more of an AWPing paradise than Cobblestone can be at times, because of the vast amounts of rotation time. You've got the likes of Drop, is very hard to hold with the likes of an AWP, for example. And speaking of the AWPers, it's going to be both Kenny and Maniz meeting each other at flashbang, destroying Maniz. Couldn't see anything, and Kenny S will capitalize. Meanwhile, Pride looking to see if they can get into position, maybe find some terrorists out in the open to try and pick off, but G2 all clumped together on long. They've got Body watching for the flank, and in the meanwhile, MBK's in mid. They don't have the bomb just yet. And Laz is going to come through with 1 kill. And a second, Kenny S goes peeking. That cost him his life. Pride now have a real shot at potentially winning this round. They need to capitalize on this. They need to convert it. Not sure if Dust is still here or not, but I can't hear him.
There was a train coming through, so I didn't want you guys to hear that whistle just blasting all over the train.
Well, MBK now with 4 health. And 25 seconds left to try and use it. So, looking like this round is pretty much over, barring some kind of a miracle play. The bomb's behind him. He's been caught in the back, and Morels will take him down. So Pride finally on the board. They did lose an AWP, not salvageable, so it's going to cost them quite a bit to buy back into this one. And of course, G2 have enough funds to get themselves another buy because of that 5-0 spree at the start.
Absolutely, they have plenty to work with, and as you noted, with Pride having to rebuy on 3 players, having their money reset here would be devastating. That pretty much puts you in kind of either a double save or some type of full save and kind of halfway by. That's where G2 can really start racking up the numbers as they already have. Do see a little bit of sneaky play here from Anis, but that's smoke. I think Kenny has to know what's up, and he does actually get the shot through. He won't know it, of course, but he's done a hell of a lot of damage to Anis. So that will soften up the defense a bit here for G2 as they do set up for some type of play on B. They still have Kenny kind of lurking around the WP at middle, but a lot of focus on taking drop-down room control. And they will get it as they slip Apex down again. So good at entering from this position.
Morales had to line the shot up. Well, it's going to be a bit rough when you're throwing out utility. Exis, in the meanwhile, has just spotted his teammate die right next to a rock, and he is going to be following in his teammate's footsteps. Bomb's going to get planted, and the reset is a reality. Pride only have Luz, and he has enough utility and equipment to justify a save. I feel like that is the play here. At least give them something to work with in the next round. G2 will have a 6th round here. 10-2 for Body, who's really stepped things up. And Apex, who was the carrier on Train, is currently just on 4 frags. But he has been playing a lot of the aggressive entry fragging kind of positions with the Mac 10s in previous eco rounds. So you can't really blame him for that. Luz is going to be able to get 1, but this is where he should be sideswiped. I'm surprised he got a 2nd kill to Shocks, to be honest, because he's switching between his weapons. But he will go down all the same. G2 will make sure there's going to be no M4s in this round.
Yeah, we're going to see Pride in pretty rough shape when it comes to their money. They will buy up what they can. It's because they know that they're going to have to take a save next round no matter what. So you might as well at least put a little bit of something into this one, take the full save next round if it doesn't work out, and then set yourself up to buy in the future. We are going to see the UMP and Mac 7 in play for Luz here, as we do see Shock's already creeping onto the B platform, using that smoke to get out a little bit more and get a little bit more vision on the rest of the site. Exis is going to play up close to the 250, may be able to get in here with the flashbang and do a little bit of magic, but he's been spotted out by Shocks, so he will be taken down before he can get up to any shenanigans. G2 have the B bomb site.
Yeah, the bomb site once again is going to be going to their hands. Reitz and Luz, arduous task of just trying to save again. I mean, this has been constantly what we've seen so far. G2 playing aggressive, getting onto sites, getting frags, and then forcing Pride out of the rounds. Got to crowbar their way back in. There's just no real chance here. Setting up for exit frags. Maybe best case scenario here for Reitz is if he can get a kill or 2 and save one of these AKs. NBK going to do his best to not allow that to happen. Because Reitz has been tagged down to 13, it's unlikely that he'll really try and jostle for that AK. We'll get a 2nd killer, to be fair, before Kenny S just domes him with the AWP. 7-1 G2 in cruise control again.
Yeah, no guns carried over here for Pride, so they won't even really be able to muster up some type of half-buy in this round. I mean, you will see the CZ come out from Reitz, as well as the armor, so he's the one that had the most money on the team, so he just kind of shaves off a little bit at the top and kind of keeps the average around 2K going into the next round. Hopes that maybe he can make an individual play, but you got to expect an 8th round coming from G2 here pretty soon. A trap has been set by Pride at long A, doing a bit of a stack towards that position, but it will be bypassed as MBK just takes him to drop down room onto Reitz. That's the one gun they had down, and it's quickly followed up by more. G2 taking players out all across the map again. You couldn't expect much in a round like this, as it was all a save for this moment here. This is where Pride hope to make really what can only be their last stand of the half, because money's going to be so low after this as well, and G2 will be dancing towards double digits very soon. So this needs to be their moment.
Yeah, it's one of the issues on the first half as well of Train, because they went 11-4 behind after a 9-0 deficit. Even though they made a mini comeback towards the end, they just didn't give themselves enough room to really work with. So they are in the same position here as well. You know, 1 round, fair enough. They can build off that. Maybe they can make it a respectable half. But they've, as you say, they've got to start winning right here, right now. There's no more room for error. They've ran out of chances. This round they're going to have no kits, though, and G2 have consistently got bomb plants. They've consistently got onto the site. That hasn't been the issue for G2.
Yeah, they boosted over that smoke and pushed Pride back at long A. That was really well done by G2 to kind of really stop Pride from what they were doing. They were hoping to hold 4 position with that smoke. G2 pushes them back, and now look what they've done. They pushed them back both into the site. They've gained so much ground on this A side. They still have presence at B with body. No one's really able to freely rotate yet for Pride. They do finally shift Manise over into connector, but they're already up mid and smokes are down on door. They've isolated the site so well. Lesdo with a great shot from cannons.
This could be enough to just hold on to the site now. Even though there's a Molotov at the back of the site, they're able to funnel their way into decent positions. The problem being now, however, that it's all on Manise. The rest of his team have fallen down, and Apex will oblige with a headshot. Bomb gonna get planted this round again, looking like it's gonna go the way of the dodo for Pride. This is a pretty important confrontation. It's gonna go the way of body. So now Exus knows there's one player in mid, although of course body can go through danger up onto long. That's exactly what he's doing right now. And Shox is trying to waste as much time as possible. Body not required. G2 9-1.
Yeah, again, G2 just had really good positioning there. The way they maneuvered across the map was well done. Isolated the site well. I will say Pride put up a pretty good fight, given that they were kind of getting out-positioned. Particularly Les's kill from cannons was really big to kind of help that initial hold, but the response from Apex and company was just too great. And so G2, they have 9, a great chance for 10 as Pride are once again on the back foot economically. Just some upgraded pistols and armor. Again, they're trying to use that smoke to sneak out middle, but again, that's easily read by G2. They will get the opening pick, no problem. Body spotting a little bit of dancing around the platform. He'll find the kill as well. And the cards are just further stacking against Pride.
But I mean, this is what we expected, right? It's Cobblestone, it's G2, it's the T side. I mean, there's very few teams that can really stand and trade with them in this scenario, especially not Pride. I mean, no disrespect to Pride, but they are a lower tier team. I don't think that anyone could realistically argue otherwise. Yep. And G2, who had a bit of a rough end to that first map, clearly just brushed away the cobwebs. They're like, look, guys, this is our map. Let's get the clean 2-0. Let's just get this over and done with. And there's very little that Pride can do about this. I mean, you've got Luz, who's had a pretty solid performance on this half, but then Manise is 1-11. That's got to change. They can't afford to have one player letting them down against the likes of G2. Yeah.
The French have always classically begun at T-side Cobblestone, and particularly guys like Apex and Shox are some of the best T-side Cobblestone players out there. And then you add Kenny S's op in there. The fact that Body's been coming into his own for a while. And you just think about the success that G2's had on Cobblestone since they put this 5 together, and the odds for always stacked against Pride. Let's say we'll go ahead and concede this one as well. It will be 10 for G2. We do see Reach trying to hold on to a Mac 10. Maybe see if he can't get a little bit of cash out of it or something with that SMG bonus, but no one really showing themselves just yet. Armor probably worth saving, to be honest.
And how many times have Pride been in this situation? 2 players, 1 player left alive, trying to save a weapon that's not even that important. Honestly, Mac 10, G2 got full armor. They don't have to worry about it too much. It's more about the armors on the side of Pride. The CZs are also pretty solid. And I mean, you can see there that Reeds doesn't even want Mac 10. He just tossed that away to pick up an M4.
Yeah, you could see he was kind of holding a position in connector and drop, kind of hoping that someone from G2 would exit that direction and give him a chance to maybe farm a little bit of extra cash, but it doesn't happen. Nonetheless, there is still the money there for Pride to make the purchase. Actually, Exus will have the AWP this time around. We did see Morels putting it to use on Train at times. Manise was doing it, but it will be Exus on this map.
Yeah, Exus typically has been playing on this B side behind the statue. Trying to change their positions up here, Pride. Nothing's really been working so far. 4-player stack on B.
They've also done some good counter utility here to slow G2 down the B side. I mean, they used some incendiaries to stop them from getting drop down room control, but now as I say that, as the nades fade out, G2 will get in there with Apex and BK there for support as well. We'll also get down, so a B split is definitely in the carpet. There's the boost on Tree from Morels. We'll get the kill on the Apex off the back of it. So this might be what Pride needs. They have a stack and they have the opening kill. This should be theirs.
And they stacked the right side of the map as well. So yeah, as you say, this really should be falling in their way. Body, though, is going to keep the dream alive. Shock somebody again, but exits to the back of the site. Picks up 2, unlucky not to get a 3rd. But like, it wasn't too far off, but Body, who was already on 12, will be finished off from the sidearm. So Pride have done it. They've picked up a 2nd round, but of course, that reset is always going to be looming in the background. And for me, they've got to pick up the rest. 5-10 still is unlikely, but at least gives them something to work with. Anything less than that, and I think this is done.
Yeah, if you get your money reset here, that would just be devastating, right? Because you don't really have any rounds to play around with to get money back. So you lose this, G2 are up 11-2, and you're basically forced buying the last 2 rounds of the half, and that's where G2 can just dance out the 13. So this is definitely important for Pride to hold on to. As we do see them setting that trap once again at long A with 3, but nothing will happen, and they will fall back. In the meantime, G2 once again dumping their utility to ensure that they're going to get drop-down room control in their grasp once more. It's been a favorite of theirs to get the double drop. They'll get it again, so once again the B split is looking very likely. This time there won't be the stack there, but there is a flank coming in from Manise.
Yep, and once again though, is he going to be able to be in a good enough position to make that flank stick? Or is it even required? Because the rest of his team are holding B very well indeed. Manise now is going to get the rewards for his patient flank with a double spray into the back, and Pride only losing Reitz in the process. They're able to replenish the weapons, no big deal, and can keep this resurgence going a little while longer. But G2 dip right back into their pockets. It's going to be a very healthy buy, including an AWP in the hands of Kenny S.
And this is the luxury that G2 have for just dominating the bulk of the half, is always having that money lying around to be able to get buys going, despite having lost the last couple of rounds in a row. We do see Manise trying to get aggressive with a double AWP setup, but Kenny S, who's been playing out towards mid most of the game, will be there to catch him no problem, and even Apex there for the quick follow-up. And so G2 already with a couple of entries. That's a nice shot from Exus, though. I'll give him that. That was a nice one. Body, though, he might catch this push from Morels, and this round may be all but over.
That's a shot that Kenny S would have blushed at. That was pretty damn fast.
Oh,
Morels, hello.
How did Body not see that? He was peeking there just a second ago. I wish we would have seen that more, because the timing must have been unreal.
I was wondering if we'd see a knife, but Morels wants none of that. Wants to make sure he gets the kill. Guaranteed. MBK will go on to Exus, and now it's all on Reitz. For all of the shenanigans, Pride still are in a 1-on-2. And forcing his way through the Molotov, and MBK was not expecting that. He had his smoke out. That's where the hyper-aggressive play really catches MBK off guard. The thing is, though, that Reitz, although he's guessing correctly, has no real indication as to where Apex is moving right now. There's still time to rotate to either side. He has the bomb, but Reitz is going to hold firm. He's not going to give up. He's going to be stubborn in this scenario, and it probably will pay off for him. And there we have it. Headshot onto Apex. Apex? I said Apoc there. Nice one. Apex is the one I was looking for. 4-10.
That was really well done by Reitz. If you're MBK, though, you're probably tilted off the face of the planet. And for good reason. Like, you can't really just expect someone to eat half their health away by pushing your fire to get you. But it was a ballsy play that pays off for Reitz, so props to him. He's top fragging for his team off the back of that play, and wins a pretty key round. Gets them now 3 in a row to make it 4-10. Still, though, G2 able to get the full buy in the last round of the half, no problem. A little bit low on utility. That will maybe limit their options just a bit, but they still have the rifles in their hands, and they can be deadly. MBK does spot Reitz over here on the left. Reitz will re-peek and meet his demise for it. So again, G2 have an opening pick to work with, but a little bit of aggression here at Long B could be something they have to worry about, but it may not matter as shots lays into the A site. And now just one player left in the area, and he's going to get pinched.
Pride trying their best to get another round, and again it's going to be a very aggressive peak that yields a kill. G2 getting caught too many times with nades out in precarious positions, and Pride are making these start to stick now. To be fair to them, it's 3 rounds in a row, could be a 4th. And again, CT side of Cobblestone can often be rough, especially against the likes of G2. Body with the headshot. Morel's down. B site right for the taking. Of course, last round, no reason for Pride to save this time around. So they will be going all in. Nexus will find out that Apex is just chilling in drop zone. As a kill comes through, and now Luz, who's been smoked off, he's going to have to wait for that smoke to clear. He does have a kit. Does bide him a little bit more time. But this round is all but over. G2 very likely to take an 11-4 half-time lead. It's going to be Apex to put the final nail in the coffin of this half.
So a bit of deja vu, isn't it, from Train? We have the same first half score. G2 rolling off to a big lead. It was Pride, though, who was able to close the gap in pretty good fashion on Train to make it a close one. But they did wind up losing that map, and so that it means that G2 are up 1-0, and they face elimination in this half. It was always going to be an uphill battle for them. There was always going to have to be an upset for them to pull through against G2 in this opening round. And their tournament lives are on the line. They need this pistol to have a solid chance, you imagine. Looks like they are going to go for something heavy towards the B side.
I definitely think that it
Look at this, though, from G2. Woo.
Hyper-aggressive through mids, yeah. It's not something you see very often. Like, what the actual hell is this? They're going to take down one and think, okay, maybe that's the end of it, but there's going to be so many players up around them. Maniz is caught in no man's land. That is such a strange, unorthodox round to see, but just goes to show the confidence and the aim that G2 have under their belts. Now, Exus, 1-on-4, not long for this world. Headshot by Kenny. That was some hell of an aim from G2. You saw multiple one-taps to the head. 12-4.
Yeah, a lot of trust in Body just to hold down B alone while they tried to put that flank in motion. He's able to get a nice little one-tap from Chicken Coop, but as you noted, I mean, you see one guy, you think, all right, we caught the quick flank, no problem, we should be good to go, but then there's still 3 more dudes pushing you down. You just can't expect that. Very rare do you see CTs get that heavy on a pistol round. I mean, maybe pushing B on Cash comes to mind as something that can sometimes be common, but other than that, it's not something you expect to see. And now G2 have another gimmick in this one. They're boosted and drop. May not matter. As you do see the focus for Pride on middle, but Kenny S is here with the Colt.
Well, they line up for him, but there's just too many targets for him to really tee off onto. And Maniz will pluck him out. Apex needs to be very careful. Just 23 health left, and Reynolds will finish off what he started alongside Luz. But now Shocks and MBK step up to the table. And it's all on Maniz, who, with a minute left, is going to try and flank towards mid, but this just has Shocks with the MP9 waiting for him. And although it was laboured, he gets the kill all the same. Money in the bank with the MP9, 13-4 Pride. Normally, I would say would definitely be into an eco, but we saw them forced buy in a similar situation on Train. I actually think it was exactly 13-4 where they went for a buy, and that's when they made their comeback. So, yeah, they're going for another buy. And I think it's in the same mentality of, we're so far behind on rounds that is an extra save really worthwhile? And the answer for them is no.
Yeah, I mean, you're pretty much in a scenario where if you lose your first buy, you're conceding a free map point, and at this point it would be a series point for them. So they're fancying their chances with pistols, trying their best to make it work, but as they come up mid, Apex has already shut them down. He's getting away. They do trade him out eventually. They will be able to pick up his M4, but the damage is already done, you have to imagine. As I say that, some more kills are coming in for Pride. They actually give themselves a chance here. They actually have a 2-on-2 now. They do get that M4 and reach his hand. He has head armor behind it as well, so he could definitely make something happen here.
He's been put down. Morels also has an M4, but just 10 health. And Body will take his 21st kill. He's 21-7. Exceptional work by him. And Pride, I would expect, to be digging in and getting another bite, as they are now on the brink of many more match points. And this time it will be match as opposed to map, as we've already had the first map of Train played out. And G2 looking to execute into the expectations that we had of them taking this 2-0.
Yeah, this is pretty much the last round, the last hope for Pride, you'd imagine here, and they have very little to work with because of that force in the previous round. Galil out on Reach, UMP on Love. Other than that, it's upgraded pistols and a little bit of utility sprinkled around. You see some aggression by Kenny S here with the M4 out in middle, just kind of holding a corner as Luz is clearing out long. Apex, a little bit of the bait here for him by the tree. He'll get the frag outright, though. Oh, Kenny S uses that to go into middle. He could cut the Spom off from getting to the A-bomb site. There it is.
Well, Apex, I was going to say, should really be locking that kill down. Finally gets it done. They're going to line up for him. He will go for the spray. 4K in the rounds. And Pride on the brink of defeat. G2 have 11 match points now. And whereas last time, of course, Dust, it was on the CT side that Pride made that mini comeback. Now it's T side. This is a whole different ball game altogether.
Yeah, they also just don't really have the economy for it, do they? I mean, the equipment value they have is just so damn low in comparison to what they had to work with on train when they made the comeback you're referring to. It'll be even harsher now for them as they're trying to do something faster paced. They're using some good smokes to put down the incendiaries and getting to be as fast as they can. They have the entry.
All the kills lining up for him with a double spray. Actually won't get it. Reitz is able to survive a little while longer, and Morels threads the headshot. He's only on 9 health. A flash will precede him. Kenny will know roughly where he is now. Just 1 bullet required. Although he may get caught out, he didn't see Morels cross the statue, and Morels keeps the minute just about. Pride hold on for dear life. And G2, their economy is starting to get whittled away somewhat. I mean, Kenny's only on 2.5k, so after this buy, if they're to lose again, they are into eco territory. Auto sniper picked up by MBK. He doesn't care about that. Gonna spare no expense.
Yep, he'll go ahead and get the auto sniper out. He'll be the only sniper on the team in this round nonetheless, so maybe this will be something that completely catches Pride off guard, or it could be something that comes back to haunt G2. If they wind up having to play out this game a bit longer off the back of a broken economy, if this doesn't pan out, as again Kenny S will hold that close angle. And they're basically just going to trust MBK to kind of hold B by himself with this, because they're using shocks and drop. They have a stack towards the A side. As Apex does get cleared out, however.
Pride have the first blood and the second one now. Kenny's going to come back with one of his own. Loves with both the opening picks. Ooh. Kenny with a second. He's not allowing this round to slip away just yet. And MBK's still on B. He's not completely sold on the idea this is going to be the A side. So effectively, this is a 2-on-3 on the site now. Luz is holding fast. That's the third for him. It's a dual purpose as well for MBK. One, I'm going to stick on B. If they come here, I wreck them. If not, I save the auto sniper for the next round, as it is worth so much. But it seems like now he's going to start to make a move. They may feasibly think they can get themselves back into this one. Shox is on the site, just below the broken wall. He's been spotted, and he will get fragged. And for me, this is where MBK should be backing away. But they have so many rounds, and let's face it, it's G2. They have so much confidence in themselves, they're not going to back away in these kind of scenarios. But that will cost MBK his auto sniper, and G2 are now into an eco. So Pride can maybe start to rummage together a few more rounds here.
Yeah, I thought Shox actually did well to kind of sneak into a good position. He was kind of stuck out on balcony for the longest time. He was able to hop down and actually cross in towards the site without being spotted by middle. So I thought actually he might be able to kind of get the jump on someone, and that's why MBK was rotating. But they do sniff him out and put him down, and so it will be G2 onto a full save. And here's where Pride can start trying to gain ground. Repeated the pistol round basically from G2, but this time it will be caught out. No shenanigans this time around as Pride put it up to 7. And again, they find themselves making the score a bit more respectable.
I mean, Reed's just straight up laying the pipe with that 4K. G2 running into headshots, tanking them with their foreheads. Never a great idea. Was a throwaway round though, of course. M4's across the board now, G2. Are they going to make this one stick, or Pride's going to rinse and repeat from the last map. I mean, I suppose even then, Pride made a mini comeback. They still lost. So
Yep.
you're gonna have to go a whole lot further here. Plus, this is 11 match points. Last time around, I think it was like 9. We're gonna go for the boosts. First time I've actually seen this from either side. Kenny S up there, perched, waiting in position.
Yeah, certainly can be tricky spot to deal with. Body finding the first couple of kills off the back of a tree boost. They tried to do something out B. A little bit of a solo effort by those two, actually. No one else was really around the trade, and the bomb was down pretty far back towards T-spawn almost, so it really didn't pan out at all, and that could be their demise now as Medici is trying to reel it back in. He does find that pick onto Apex. Again, though, Kenny S, he has this boost that can be oh so tricky to deal with. In fact, they have someone who's pushed stables and still hasn't even seen Kenny S. They haven't even thought to check it, and that makes it even worse. Still hasn't been spotted. They're walking right by him.
Kenny's still looking at mid. Now finally he's going to turn around just in time to see that Menezes below it. Oh! Spins around on a pivot and wrecks him in the head. And are Pride really going to keep this going another round? This is ridiculous. This looked like it was guaranteed to be G2 closing out with a 16-7 win.
Thank God for Luz, man. He was the hero of that round, because if you let Kenny S get that second kill off of boost and drop down on the mid slope and stay alive, that round probably goes way differently. So that really came down to one key frag, and that was silencing Kenny S's gimmick before it got out of hand. And so that means Pride have 8. They have G2 back into saving territory. So they could find themselves in double digits again if they keep this up. I mean, they have the money to back them up. They have plenty to use in this next round. And so all of a sudden they become a little bit scary for G2. And I think this is probably the time out from the French to once again kind of get their heads right. You can't be letting this slip. I mean, this was supposed to be the most one-sided matchup of the whole tournament. So you can't let that one get through your fingers.
Very reminiscent to me from that first map as well of Train, where G2 were in like a position to maybe close it off 16-4, and then suddenly Pride just started to get rounds out of nowhere. Don't know what it is. Lightning striking twice maybe. Shocks though with the first. Would be particularly brutal if Pride were to lose now against the Nico round. AK's been picked up as well, and a Molotov. Gives them a few bargaining chips now for G2. A Molotov, though, from G2 is more of a delaying mechanism to try and allow maybe Body to go for some scouting. And now he's been forced away. Molotov's being thrown out from Pride onto the site. More of a centralized defense, though. G2 occupying connector more so than the site itself, but Shox is still able to lay himself a second kill of the round. And now G2 is starting to waterfall their way onto the site, coming out the woodwork. Players everywhere. It's all on Reets. A 1-on-3. He's picked up the first one. Very low on health, but MVK will finalize and give G2 their second map, allowing them to move through to the semi-finals. They finally get the job done. One-sided as we expected, but Pride, I think they can hold their heads high. Against a team like G2, they didn't crumble as much as I thought they would.
Yeah, I mean, it's a step up from last time they played G2, right? In the Starlighter qualifiers back in March, I mean, it was very one-sided scores on both maps. And again, this is a team that doesn't necessarily find themselves up against the cream of the crop very often, right? They're not in any of the big pro leagues like ECS or EPL. You know, you don't see them at bigger tournaments. Meanwhile, G2 is a true world-class team that have, you know, had some big finishes with this 5, including a title. Against some really big name teams, right? I mean, considered one of the top 5 teams in the world. So, I mean, they were always kind of going to outclass this team, I guess is really the point I'm trying to make. Again, this was kind of considered to perhaps be the most one-sided matchup of the whole, you know, qualifier, considering that the other matches we'll see today, the gap's a bit closer between the two teams. So, yeah, hats off to Pride for at least making it interesting.
Yeah, if you look at the past matches for both teams, G2 have played Fnatic, Astralis, Cloud9, Gambit, Na'Vi. These are all heavy hitters. Pride have played Alien Tech, Havu, which are a Finnish team, LDLC, Nazariski, and Binary Dragons. They're not really the same kind of caliber of teams at all. Right. So I think, you know, coming into this goes to show the golf in sort of caliber, the two teams and the two teams that they've played in the past. But yeah, I think that was kind of what we expected. Could have been a lot more one-sided on Train, but G2 got the job done. They're going to move through to the semi-finals. They'll face either Envious or Hellraisers. We'll find out which one very shortly. That actually might be the next match coming up.
Yep, it is. And I think we have kind of an extended break as well, because technically that match is not supposed to start for another hour. That's when the two teams were scheduled to play against one another. That's the schedule that they're going off of, is what they were slotted to play today. So unless they want to start early, it looks like we will have probably a break for about an hour before that game starts. Couldn't have expected this game to, well, I guess maybe you could have expected this game to end a bit early, but the way the schedule's built is to make sure there's enough time to, get all three maps played and not delay the tournament, so to speak. That's kind of what the buffer is there for. But in this case, the buffer may be used just to be an extended break before we get things rolling. So I'm sure you people wanted to see another game pretty quickly, but that's just the way the schedule works.
Yep, so that being said, we are going to delve into that break now. It could be a little while before we get the next match underway. Of course, we'll update you when we have more information, but we're going to go to a break now. We'll see you guys in a little bit. Next up will be Envious and Hellraisers in another best of 3.